Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Jo, this is Joey Sewy, this is the French Alps, and I'm going to tell you all about the sewing things that I brought on holiday. And actually the knitting things, if I'm honest. So I have put up 2 videos today. The other video is 6 ways that I keep doing 6 ways. I have 5 fingers on that hand. 6 ways that you can take sewing and crafting projects on holiday. If you think of any other ideas, I would love to hear about them. So put them in the comments of this video or of that video, because I am sure that I didn't think of all the ideas, but I did think of quite a few ideas and I did bring quite a few with me. So in this video, I'm going to tell you about them. So I brought, let me tell you straight off, I brought knitting, 2 projects, a book and an embellishment project. So I bought 4 sewing-y, crafty, clothesy things with me. And also I brought my eyes that are always looking for places to think about sewing. So are there any fabric shops where we're going? Oh, are there any yarn shops where we're going? That kind of thing. So that's a secret 5th one. So I'm going to show you my knitting projects first. I've got 2 of them. I brought a work in progress and a work that's nearly finished actually. So I've been knitting this. We are on, what day of the week is it? It's Friday. We set off last Saturday. So we're on our 7th day of our holiday. We've been all over the place and dropping things. And if you don't know where I am, I'm on a balcony. Don't want to start kicking things off the edge. So I have been working on this throughout, especially the pesky neckband, which just finished casting off today. Anyway, it is this very Swiss appropriate, given that we're going to Switzerland tomorrow, tank top. Now this is the same tank top that I showed you in my what did I make in June, yes, I can't remember the month, June video. It is called The Tidy Tee by Lily France. I'll put a link down below. It's a pattern off Ravelry. I have altered it quite a bit, although not unrecognisably. This neckband looks a bit dodgy because it definitely needs steaming. I had to do it 3 times. The first time I did it, partly I did the wrong rib pattern and partly I put a white stripe in there and I didn't like it. So that was the first time I did it with the striping and I didn't like it. The second time I did the wrong rib pattern. Both 2 times I did the wrong rib pattern and I realised I'd done the same rib as the bottom and it was just too bulky, not the right. And then the 3rd time I had to take it out, it was because I ran out of yarn on the cast off row and I'm not even sure you can effectively join yarn on the cast off row, so I had to pull back 2 rows and go again. But I finished it this afternoon, thank heavens. Not woven in the end, so that's why you've got bits hanging out. But that is the top. And then the next thing is the capped sleeves. And the way I changed the pattern, just so you know, is I added a ribbed waistband rather than the pattern itself goes kind of to the high hip area and has ribbing at the bottom, but it is not pulled in at the waist. And as you will know if you watch my videos, I am obsessed with bringing things in at the waist because it flatters me. So that is what I have done with my original one and with this one. Hopefully it's going to turn out exactly the same shape and the stripes. I did the body twice as well, although I think I restarted the body at home. Yeah, I did, because I did the stripes the same size as each other and it looked like a football jersey. I just felt like, or a rugby jersey. It was wrong. It was just, the proportions were just wrong. So I went right back up to here and did it again. I am very glad that this is a really chunky yarn. I can't remember the name of it, although I had a bit of a saga because once I decided to change the stripes, I realised I had not enough of the red yarn. And then it turns out that the manufacturer of the yarn, which is Wendy, was sold a couple of years ago. And the way, although you can buy this exact colourway, still, when I ordered it from a perfectly reputable and very helpful website, not where I got the original because I bought it in person at Cold Spring Mill near Bradford, but they don't sell online. I went to Wool Warehouse, which I use really often, saw that they had the same thing, not the same dye lot, but I thought that's okay, it's stripes, I can mix it in, it's not going to be a problem. Ordered it. It wasn't just a different colour, a very different colour, but an entirely different type of yarn. So can you see how there's sort of a fuzz on this, and I don't know how well the camera's picking it up, but there's kind of a white fleck, very subtle, but very definitely there, fleck in the yarn. I'll put up a picture of what the two yarns that are sold under the same name, same colorway name, different dye lot, yes, look like. They're just unrecognizable, really. So that was frustrating. Wool Warehouse were totally fine, took it back, no, very good customer service, not a problem. But then I was stuck with a half-made jumper. What do I do? So Etsy and eBay saved me. First of all, I rang Cold Spring Mill and they said, no, sorry, we would have sent you some because you bought some from us and we want to help you finish your project, but we have none left of that colorway. They explained the thing about Wendy having been bought. You didn't tune in for this saga, but it was a saga, I tell you. And I wanted to bring it on holiday and there was like a week to go. Didn't know where I was going to get it from. Went to Etsy and there was some that looked like this. So I emailed them and said, tell me the dye lot, please tell me the dye lot, and tell me the address on the ball band, please, 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 because those are the things that will tell me if it's the right thing. And in the end, one person on eBay and one person on Etsy got back to me and said, okay, well, this is the information. And I thought, yes, that is going to be okay. One of them only had one ball, but had exactly the same dye lot. So I bought that. And one had quite a few balls, but it was one number different on the dye lot, but the address was the same. It was the old manufacturing batch. And so I took a risk and I bought 7 balls of it. I don't need 7. I probably only needed 1. This is the ball. This is the extra ball, and I'm probably not going to finish this. So now I've got 7, but it's a really great red for me. It's looking quite orange on the camera, but it's a very blue red. It's a very good red for me. So there's definitely a red jumper somewhere in my future this winter, or a winter somewhere in the future. So that is the project I've been working on most, and I want to finish that soon. They're just little capped sleeves, so unless I do those 17 times because I make lots of mistakes, I will finish that quite soon. Then project number 2 will be this one, which I am pretty sure I showed you this wool after I'd bought it. It is a Sirdar Temptation yarn, and the type, so it's Temptation is the type, a chunky mohair blend, and the colour is, oh, it's just got a shade. That's not very romantic, is it? 0807. But it's a beautiful, if the sky was blue, which it's not, it's full of clouds and mountains. It's a beautiful kind of really exaggerated sky blue. Now I've chosen the pattern, downloaded and printed the pattern before we left home. Can't remember the name of the pattern, so you're going to have to look below. It's from Ravelry. It is a kind of waist length, but it's got it's kind of a lace pattern in that it's got deliberate holes in it, but it's not a lace pattern because this is really chunky yarn. But I'm really interested in that sweater. I love it. So you'll be seeing a picture of it as I chat on about it. And that is what I'm going to cast on as soon as I finish the red sweater. We've got a few more really long drives to do. When we leave Chamonix, which is still a few days away, we've got a 6-hour drive that day. And then a few hours, another 4-hour drive a couple of days after that, and then when we eventually go home, it's an overnight ferry journey, so there's loads of time left in it. Probably won't finish the blue one. Fingers crossed, we'll definitely finish the red one. The other project, other 2 things still left to tell you about, is the next one is an embellishment project. Now I can't show you because my camera is balanced on the box that the project's in, but I can show you pictures, and I actually haven't touched this project yet since I set it up at home. So I spoke a few videos ago about wanting, it was in my summer sewing plans that there was a white jacket that I wanted to embellish, and the white jacket was from my trip to Buckingham Palace. So if you follow me, it's the white jacket from Buckingham Palace, and I talked about wanting to embellish it in the summer sewing plans. So I will put some pictures up. What I've done is I have got some silk is it silk taffeta? It's got the slubs in it, I always forget the name. Anyway, it's some silk in a white colour that is very close to the jacket. The jacket is kind of a pure brilliant white kind of colour, optical white, and I've torn it into strips. So I'll show you pictures of the bits of the process that I've got pictures of. Torn into strips because I wanted that flat, organic, kind of messy edge. And then my vision that I struggled to describe when I talked about it before was to have all these folds just over the yoke area of the jacket. So at the moment, all I had time to pin before I left home was one shoulder, part way down the arm, and part way down the front top chest area. I want to obviously do that on both sides, and I want to do some on the back, less on the back, maybe to where a traditional shirt yoke goes would probably be my idea at this point. So I only had time to put it on the mannequin, pin some of it in place. It was the night before we were setting off, and it was the last thing I did. I hope that wind isn't bothering things. I decided I would give myself half an hour to get as much pinned as I could, and if I could do some, I was allowed to bring it with me. So I pinned on the mannequin, half an hour, got a good chunk done. I thought, right, well, I'm going to take that, I can hand sew it. So my idea is where all the pins are, and it's blooming lethal in this box, it needs to have some kind of protection on it, because they stick out in all sorts of angles. But the pins on it, I'm going to hand sew just tiny little invisible stitches so that that raw silk is held in place in that embellished confection. And then if I get really enthusiastic with it, I've got other stuff to do, as you've seen, I will try and pin some more. I don't know if that will work very well. I'm going to see if I can protect my microphone, because I don't know how badly the wind's affecting it. But I don't know if that will work. But if it works, then I'm going to try and pin some more, because I brought more strips with me, and do some more. So that is my embellishment project. And I did mention in my previous video about my ideas that embellishment is something that you may not take time to do when you're at home, but you could bring it on holiday. Then the last thing, following my very own advice, that I brought with me was a book. So this is the book that I brought with me. Now I chose this because I think it's probably the oldest book on my bookshelf. Wind, go away! So I think this is probably the oldest book I've got on my bookshelf, and I've never properly looked through it. You can see it's had a life. I can't remember where I got it from, but I have decided it's a how-to from the 1950s, a how-to on modern dressmaking. So I decided I would bring it and I had to have a read of it. And my intention is, if there's any gems in here, I'm going to share them with you in a separate video. So that is my last thing. I am going to go and hide from the wind and pray that the wind has not upset the filming too much, otherwise I'm going to have to refilm this. But as I said, if you've got any great ideas for what to bring on holiday, maybe what not to do on holiday is try and film on a windy balcony, but you know, we learn. Please tell me down below. If you've enjoyed this video, also I'd love to hear that. Thank you very much for watching, whatever you felt about the video, and I'm going to see you really soon, maybe even with a sewing shopping update from Switzerland. Who knows? See you soon. Bye.